Hi, I'm Chuck Friedman. In this series, I get to talk to inspiring members of our community about their stories, upcoming projects, and more. Welcome to the Developer's Edge. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Developer's Edge for Season 2. I'm so excited to welcome you back to our conversations with members of our community who have found success and who do such great work to enable the success of others. Let's go back in time a little bit. At what point in your life or your career did you really lock into your passion for technology and realize that this needed to be the trajectory for your career?
My buddy invited me on a little bit of a world tour around Southeast Asia. So we went for like 5 months, I think. And in that time, he convinced me to set up a blog. And he knew a little bit about HTML and CSS. So when I had some questions about how to make some changes, he would like walk me through it. And then, well, the truth is he sort of planted this seed of a thought in my mind that if you can do work on the internet, you can work from anywhere in the world. And when you're, 24-year-old guy traveling around Southeast Asia, that's like a really attractive idea. So I was like, well, all right, I'll give that a try. And so this travel blog was, I think, the first technological thing that I got into. I think it was a WordPress site or something. At some point, somewhere in there, I decided, okay, I actually want to pursue this as a career. So I fell in love, and it's a wonderful journey. I've been enjoying it ever since, and I recommend anyone that's interested to get involved and just build something you want to see in the world.
Do you remember, was there a point in your career where you sort of started to make the transition where you started to manage teams or go in front of other stakeholders and say, I have a vision for what I want to do as far as training goes? Can you talk a little bit about like that pivot point for you and some of the things you can remember?
I had a global position. I had a team that was global, creating documentation for both customers and for our internal service folks used around the globe. And that was kind of the first time that people would come to me and ask my opinion on things. I think that role really kind of set me up to have a really unique perspective on my employees and a really unique sense of responsibility. And it's certainly a sense of responsibility that I have kept moving forward over the years. In any role, I have a deep, deep sense of responsibility to anybody that I consider to be my customer or my audience, whether that's internal or external. I feel a deep sense of responsibility to meet their needs and to make their lives as easy as possible. And I think that's probably when that really hit home for me, was in that role.
So what does your team do specifically to enable our developer community?
We have just recently, over the past year, migrated our content to a platform that enables us to do more for developers specifically. Before this year, we were using a DITA system. I don't know if that means a lot to the folks watching this, but DITA is basically a fine solution for creating some kinds of documentation. It enables a lot of reuse and structure. What it doesn't do is allow a lot of flexibility to be able to present things in a manner that today's developer audience expects. So in 2020, we started an exploration to figure out what we should do to free ourselves from the constraints of our current tooling. And we discovered a platform called readme.io. You guys should all go there and learn more about them. We have spent the last year migrating all of our content from the DITA XML system to this new Markdown-based, very flexible platform that gives us the opportunity to really increase our velocity, but it also allows us to create lots of examples. We are able to create documentation that's very example rich, to make sure that we give developers a head start and by getting them going with templates or code samples that can really help give them context about how the code works and get them on their journey.
So 8 years is a solid career at any company. What are some of the things you've seen in that time that really excite you about where the industry's headed or where the solutions that we're offering our customers are headed?
Yeah, I mean, ever since we acquired Prolexic, I think we've been heading in the right direction. I'm really excited about everything that we've been doing in Akamai for security perspective, obviously because I love security, but also because it's the right direction to go in. And Akamai is really well poised to drive this industry forward. Since we do see so much of the internet, we see so much of the malicious attacks, far more than you could ever imagine. And knowing that we're really heavily investing in there, whether we're now adding the microsegmentation on with Guardicore, we'll see what we're going to do with Linode. Like I said, I'm very excited about that acquisition. I think we're incredibly well poised to drive security to be stronger than ever for the entire world, and I'm excited to see where we're going to go with it.
What are some of the things we're doing now to better engage and enable our community that are really exciting to you?
I know that there is a lot of active communication that's going out to developers that will really help them, about releases that we are doing, any updates, any kind of maintenance windows or anything that Akamai is doing that might affect their environments. I know there are active discussions about standing up an active community where developers can collaborate with each other as well. And we are committed to be active in the community as well to help with any questions or feature requests for that matter, or anything that the developers want. And of course, we can't promise everything comes day one, but we will prioritize what we can do, and we will bring it to the table to help our developers make use of Akamai services the best they can.
Can you talk about being part of the Developer Champions Group and what that's enabled you to do as far as supporting developers and customers in our community?
It has been a great opportunity for me. I'm really glad. I was really happy when I received the invitation from Mike, and from this moment I've been participating with this awesome group that is a global group from different countries, different roles inside Akamai with different past experience. And what we do there is to share our visions and our experience towards an important need that we need to cover as for a customer, for a specific situation in a customer that anyone can have, or to resolve an internal issue that we need to cover to do our job better, or for Akamai to be a better solution for developers. So it's been a rich, full experience because I learned a lot about another situations that the customers are experiencing in different parts of the globe.
Are there things out there that you wish would improve, or that you've actually worked yourself or contributed to help improve, that you think are going to be essential for developers or have provided this kind of value?
The most important thing that gets overlooked a lot is documentation. And there's been a movement towards automating documentation. So a lot of products have documentation. I have yet to meet a developer who's been like, wow, that's really good documentation. The challenge is that how do you put real examples into documentation that a developer can find, run, and then see how it works and tinker with? And I think that's something that a lot of companies aren't doing correctly. It really makes the difference between just understanding what an API does, but actually seeing how it works, because not all developers are able to understand the concept of it by just looking at a call. They might really need to see, okay, how do I make this call into this scenario? Or if there's a security restriction, or if there's a performance impact, what is the best way to do it? And teaching developers, okay, here are all the tools, but here's how to use each of the tools, I think will make or break developers being successful in your platform.
Where does innovation come from at Akamai?
Yeah, I would say it's not one particular area. In kind of my maybe unique journey here at Akamai, I've kind of experienced different seats at that table. So, initially being a consultant and then moving into architecture, which is part of our engineering group, and then now in products, it's kind of interesting seeing the conversation evolve in the different chairs at that table. But the one cool thing I really like about Akamai, and the reason it keeps me engaged and excited about being here, everyone can innovate. Everyone's ideas are considered, discussed, debated, articulated multiple times until we arrive at common ground that's actually going to yield value for our customers and our partners. So it's not the anecdotal or the kind of the cliche, the product manager is the CEO of the product. I don't really view it that way. I look at it as more of what are you bringing uniquely to the table that the whole group of our product team can benefit from. And that's where a lot of the best ideas come from.
Thank you for joining us today on Developer's Edge. We hope you liked our conversation. To watch more, subscribe and check out our other series. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.